And I gotta hit the button. And we're back. Well, hello, and welcome back, everybody. I had to run to the bathroom and to the fridge and turn off the heater, but here we are. So, let me get my jacket on too, because I got the two heaters, and we got some screaming, but that'll stop in just a second, and then I'll do the little intro bit here. Okay. So, we're working on doing the new buzzword. I learned that what we used to call scraping and migrating data in Excel macros is now called ETL. So I'm overusing that term now. But we're doing a thing where we're taking stuff from Trello, which Trello has a nice export, which I can actually show you now, because it turns out that the back button in Trello for the menu system is actually a more button. So can I get this to, no, I can't. Let's see if I can get this to show. So I show you what we did. Oh no, I have to be in the thing first. That makes sense. Okay, so there's a menu here, and then there's a back button. And if you hit the back button, there's a more button. So let's just recap here. Show menu. And then, oh no, what? I don't understand it. Anyway, then you click more, and then you can go print and export, and you get JSON. So that's how we get the whole board as JSON. Everything's there. The comments, the people, all the data. We don't need to make any API calls. It's excellent. Okay, so we got that part done. And then we got this part done with Node, where I'm assuming this is done because I don't see it running anymore. But we got this part done with Node, where, okay, yeah. This is a couple thousand issues here. So I've created thousands of issues on GitHub with the script from the last session. And then what we're doing this time is we're going to do the parts that we can't do via the API, that we have to do in the browser. Or at least we have to get the authentication bits done in the browser, and then we'll see what we can do from there. And I got to test everything in the browser. There's no documentation for this. So we're going to create a GitHub project, and we're going to finish importing the issues that we created with the API and Node into the project that we have to do with JavaScript in the browser. Or we'll see. We've got to start in the browser. All right. And of course, the bots are voracious today. Yep. That's because of you, ForGod. That's why. You taught me what ETL meant, and now I'm going to use it every day. But no, it's just it's just odd to me that we have to come up with new terms for I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. We changed the names of things. The wheel of time just keeps on turning. Time to roll the dice, I guess. Is that the expression? I'm not actually that much of a Wheel of Time fan. I'm just pretending. I'm posing right now. I'm a poser. Poser Wheel of Time fan. I've watched on Netflix. I bet the books are better. I'm trying to get through the books, but it's a slog. Anyway, with that all out of the way, let's just have one quick word from our sponsor, but not really our sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. Pop top, my friends. It's time. To open focus. All right, and here we are. So, I think the thing that I need to do first of all is I need to create a project. Oh, we've got a project here. Do we have migration test? Test project, migration test. So we've got this migration test, and I'm going to have to open this up and go to the console. So I opened up the JavaScript console, and mainly what I'm trying to figure out is how do I add an item from the issues. So pound to search. So 152. Can we do 152? Can we do, I want to bring in an issue about Trello. I'm not really sure. What are we doing here? Select a repository. Okay, so we have to select a repository first. I don't like that. So migration 1, and then find an issue. All right, let's see what's going on here in the console while we're doing that. All right, so it is searching repositories, and then it is grabbing issues and pulls. So what we need to do is we need to copy. I'm going to do copy as fetch, And I'm going to paste this elsewhere because this is going to have my authentication credentials in it. And I love you, but not that much. So I'm going to paste these elsewhere real quick. I'm going to call it examples.fetch.js is what I'm going to call it. Okay, so now, can you send links here? You should be able to send links, Ryan, because you are admin status. So I'm going to say you should be able to. Wait, what? What? Hey, M. Houghton, I don't know who you are, but welcome. What? How did you find this, Ryan? Oh. Oh, dirty. Dirty, 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 dirty. Oh, they don't give you a real API. They give you a GraphQL. Oh, but this is great. Okay. I am so glad that you found this. How did you find this? Okay, cool. So this is going to make things a lot easier. The way that I was about to embark on may not be at all the way that this needs to be done. We're just going to have to deal with trying to figure out how to interpret this stuff. But it comes back as JSON, so it's okay. This might be a time for me to use GraphQL. Or the GH. Okay, I think we have GH. Let me try Webby GH. Cool. GH API. Let's just test this and see. GraphQL query. Let's see how this works. So we're gonna try ghscript.sh is what I'm gonna call this, and we're gonna do bin bash and okay. Let's see if this happens to work. I'm going to run that in the other page or on the other screen. GH auth login. Oh no, it's giving me menu systems. What protocol do you prefer? I prefer SSH. Which public key? We're going to go with my default public key. How would you like to authenticate the CLI? Paste authentication token. Okay, and then I know just where an authentication token is for GitHub, because I just created one yesterday, so I will just go ahead and paste a token in here. Bump, bump, bump. Admin public key. It's missing the admin public key scope. So I'm going to have to redo that. All right. Press enter to open github.com in your browser and paste in my activation token. This is actually a pretty sweet experience. I like this. This is the way CLIs should be built. Okay. Okay, click curl option up top. Wait. Curl. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Thank you. I am interested to try the Google, or then not Google, the GitHub thing all the same. So, okay, I'm going to run this and just see. Interesting. All right, cool. Well, this is good. I was kind of actually excited for the challenge of the browser thing, but we'll take the easy way. Okay, so all I want to do then is customize your project, creating a project. I don't think we really need to worry about creating the project, adding items to your project, issues, and pull requests. No, I want to do this with curl. I am confused. Did I not select curl? I am very confused. Using the API, I'm in the wrong section of the documentation here. Adding an item to a project. This is it. Project ID, content ID. That seems strange. Node ID of the issue or pull request. Do we have node IDs of issues or pull requests? We do. We do have node IDs. We have node IDs. All right, so we need to grab node IDs. Okay. Let me think about this. Okay, so then what we want to do right now, do we just want to pull in all the issues into the project wholesale? Do we want to create sub-projects? No, we don't want to create sub-projects. Just want to pull everything in. Okay, let's just pull one thing in, and then let's test it out. So I'm going to go back to the ETL script here. And we are going to do similar thing, except that we're going to use GraphQL. I'm going to copy this. All right. GitHub issues, all products. API. Sorry, I'm just REST API. Is it because I didn't look in GraphQL? I'm really curious as to how I did not find this. I guess it's because I was looking at the REST API, not the GraphQL API. It's right there. It's right there. Well, now I feel like a dummy, but we're on the right path, so we're good. All right, GitHub issues. We're going to create gh.graphql equals async function GraphQL. I just put this so that when it shows up in a stack trace, it's more clear where it came from. Instead of being an anonymous function, it'll have underscore GraphQL, which is distinct in what I'm doing. All right, so, and here we're going to put, I guess we're going to put a query, and it's going to be in this format. There is, I should look up how to do the variables. Let me go back here, because we want to have data and we'll want to have variables for this. Do we have variables? Variables, query, mutation, variables. We should have, I'm going to have to go look this up again. Maybe we don't call it variables. Do we call it templates or something? All right. So GraphQL variables. By the way, hey to everybody that's joining in. I'm AJ O'Neill. I'd love to know who you are and what brings you to the stream tonight. We are doing a little bit of JavaScript and hanging out. And I'm trying to, well, right now I'm looking up GraphQL syntax. Because passing arguments, do we call it arguments? All right, that's data. No, how do we do this? We want query. Okay, there's query. And then how do we say what variables go into the query? Variables, here we go. This is what I'm looking for, right? So data, no, No. Show me the request. I'm guessing we just call it variables. We can test this out real quick. Okay, variables. Give me what it is. Okay, let me go look here. So query is there, and that whole thing is stringified. And so I'm pretty sure that then we do variables. And then I think variables is just normal JSON. So we should be able to put, let me see what it looks like. I think we put it without a $sign. We put a $sign in here, then we put it without a $sign here. So we should be able to put project ID here. Whoops. We got to clean this up. I need some sort of tool that would, let's see. All right. We're going to call gh_request. Sorry, whoops, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to undo. I meant to hit J, not U. Okay. So then the body, do we need to tell it what type it is? It's JSON is what we need to tell it, right? No, it's going to know that. It's going to know that. Oh, bless me. All right, we don't need to worry about this part. There we go. And we don't need to worry about this part. We just worry about this stuff in between, right? And then what do we have to tell it? Let me check again. Let me check again. And the documentation here. This is what learning looks like. Intense, furrowed brows. Okay. So it's going to be a post, default post. It's interesting. And this actually should say raw data. It says data. It should say raw data. I'm almost positive. I think data happens to work much of the time, but raw data is what you should be using in that situation. Anyway, wait. Escaping quotes. Why are we escaping quotes? Because it's quoted inside of the quotes. Got it. That's why we're escaping quotes. All right. Okay. Let me go check and see how I've got this request built. Base URL. What is base URL built on? Base URL is just built on API-GitHub.com. Great. So that should work just fine. And the query here should be like this, but we're going to put $, right? So here's going to be $project ID, I think. Is that how it's supposed to work here? That was just quotes. Okay, so we get rid of the quotes. Let's try to format this a little bit easier. I think what I want to do here is use a template string, query for the mutation. Yeah, we want to use a template string. That's what we're going to do. Okay, and then we can do the inputs like this. Okay, yeah. Whoops. This doesn't feel quite right. That's okay, we'll fix it in a second. And then this and this. And then we got our variables. And variables are just normal, right? And then we close off our request. Okay, why can't it handle it? Okay, what's going on here? Is this correct? Unmatched brace. Why do you tell me it's unmatched when you tell me that it's matched? So query, variables, project ID. Oh, right here. We just needed to put to do. All right, we need to put a project ID in there. Got it. All right, this is starting to look better already. Okay. And I think I'm making the mistake of maybe using tabs in here when I didn't intend to. I'm going to go ahead and delete. Boom. Oh, sorry, I wasn't checking on comments. How many lines of code have you written for this? Ryan is correct. Well, you know, it depends. How do you count writing a line of code? Do you count all the times that you delete the line and rewrite it again? Because you should. But no, that's not going to show up in the... Well, you can get tools that kind of do that for you. All right. All right. So this is a query in GraphQL. I think the word mutation, I could be wrong, but I think this word means literally nothing. I think you could put bananas here. A lot of stuff in GraphQL is maybe arbitrary is not, yeah, it's arbitrary. A lot of stuff in GraphQL is arbitrary, and it's hard for me to remember which is which. Mutation might be a keyword, or it might be arbitrary, because there's the arbitrary things are just meant for logging. I think that's why they're arbitrary. Okay, so we're going to have a project ID, and so I think we're going to have, for this, we're going to have GraphQL, and then we're going to have vars. I think that's what we're going to accept in here. And so this would be an example of GraphQL, and then this would be an example of variables. And so we'll call this query. I guess the whole thing is GraphQL, so we'll call this query because that's appropriate. And then we're going to call this other part variables. And so let's see if we can use this just to grab, I guess, project info. All right, and then what are we doing here? Oh, and actually, I never do return on a promise without having an await there, because otherwise your stack trace gets swallowed and other problems can arise. But I forget sometimes. I wish linters could be better at reminding you to do that, but I have not encountered linting rules. In fact, some people put linting rules to get rid of the await because they don't understand how await works, but that's just a really, really, really bad idea because you lose your stack trace. And stack traces are really helpful when you have errors. You don't want to just see that deep in some library there was an error at the end. That's not fun. Okay, so we're going to get out of this one. We're going to go back into here. Actually, I think I'm going to do a little... I'm going to call this gql.js, and we're just going to do a little test just to get things started. We're going to need all of this same stuff here. Yeah, we're going to pretty much need everything here. But I'm just going to put this in a separate file so I can play around with new things. All right. And by the way, if you do find at any point that this is useful or entertaining, or the sound of my voice just helps you fall asleep at night, please consider giving a thumbs up and sub if you want to, or don't if you don't want to. Do what you want to do. And I'm trying to hit 5K subs before my birthday. Do it for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? For my birthday. My birthday is not until June, so we got time. Okay. What else do I need to do here? Where's my GH? Okay, so that's already going to be set up on its own. Do we already have the .env in here? Where's the .env at? .env. Whoops. That definitely should be loaded up a level, not down there. That's okay. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'm going to take another sip of focus. By the way, I see that there's a bunch of you out there, and I appreciate it. It's wonderful. Don't feel afraid to say hi, because sometimes it feels a little lonely just sitting in this chair with only the darkness to comfort me. No, I don't want to be in this file. I do want to copy this and some of that, essentially. Yes, and I might as well copy sleep because I'll probably end up using it. Oops. All right, we're going to take this here, and then I'm going to run gh.graphql, and then it'd be cool. A lot of things would be cool. Bloop, 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 bloop. All right. So let me just try some basic thing. And then console.log it afterwards. Let's just see that I've got something working. So what is our project ID over here? Where was that? But I probably need a node ID. And I probably get that by looking at the console. Let's see what we can get. Cookies. I'm going to have to log out now. Whatever. Interesting. What? Oh, this is, good duck, because this is not using GraphQL. So how will I guess I just need to use GraphQL to list projects. Cool. All right, GraphQL, query organization, project next. Finding the node ID of an organization project. You can find the ID if you know the organization name and project number. Project next number. Okay. So I guess I know the project number because I just look in the URL. So this is project 2. All right, so let's put that in our envs. I'm actually going to go do this over here. Oh yeah, we can put it here. All right, so one thing I just need to do real quick is I actually need to sign out of GitHub and sign back in because my cookie was on the screen. And so that's what I got to do. Hey, welcome. Who are you? What brings you to the channel tonight? Give me my auth token, please. 178182. 178182. There we go. All right, so now I'm logged back in. And okay, where are the docs I was just looking at? Was it here? Here, okay. So let's see what we can do. In our .env, well, first of all, let me update the documentation for this. So, what? Dang it. Come on, fingers. Work. And what did it say? I think it also, no, it didn't say that. So we need GitHub project is equal to 2. So project, it looks kind of weird. All right, so I'm going to take their example here. And this looks like it's going to be pretty simple. All right, node ID of an organization project. We are an organization. We have a project. I'm just going to comment all of this out for the moment and put this in instead. Okay, So query, oops. All right, organization. Wait a minute. Nope, that's not how that works. Project. And then number. If somebody knows of something that would allow this to work in my editor so that it would just auto format, please let me know. I would love that. That would be preferable. And then, okay, so login. You know what? You know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to go to the GitHub org owner. There we go, owner. Oh, I don't know if this will work. Dang it. Okay, I'm just going to do it this way. Process.env.github.org. So that's going to be the login. And then this should be login, like so. And then project number should be project. And then we have this here and project 2. All right, cool. Okay, so I think this might work. Hey, Humbleant, what's up? Just so you don't wonder, I removed 3 issues that had added to project 2 so they don't get in the way. Okay, thanks. I'm going to tell y'all a secret. I don't like GraphQL. This does not look good to me. But hopefully it works. Oh! Login is used by anonymous query but not declared. Oh, because I think we have to do this. I think we have to say login and project, like so, like that. I really do need to get some GraphQL in my cheat sheet. Maybe it's login and project. Parse error, login identifier. Maybe. Okay, I need to go look at the example stuff here. Okay, variables. Oh, we have to specify the type. Ugh. Can I just do string? And I think this means not null. Is that how that works? So login is string and project is number. Number is not a defined input. Maybe lowercase number? Okay, but string is. So maybe int. Maybe int? Maybe. Oh. It worketh. I slayeth the beast. I thought it was going to get me there, but I showed it who's boss. Okay. Now we have the ID with which we can make the next query. Okay, so that's cool. So now I have a way to get the ID of the project. Now we need to move on to How do I get some issues? Let's see. I need to make this something about this just doesn't quite feel right. I think it's that. Okay. So find ID of organization project, finding information about items in a project, find the node ID of a field. We're not going to worry about that one yet. Updating a project, adding an item to a project. I think we know how to do this already because we use the REST API to get the issues, and the REST API had the node ID in them. Deleting an item from a project. Okay, cool. So I think this is where add project next item. Is there anybody here who is pro GraphQL that is not, let me rephrase this. Someone who's pro GraphQL who actually has to deal with requests for GraphQL, or who's done any implementation of GraphQL, not just the little, autocomplete thing, because the autocomplete thing is cool. I love the autocomplete thing. I wish that they would just adapt that for REST endpoints and make a tool like that, because I don't think there's any reason that we couldn't have a tool like that for REST endpoints. I think it's just somebody has to take the time to do it. And it's not sexy to market something that's old. It's just not. If something already exists, there's nothing sexy about marketing an improvement to a product. There's something sexy about marketing a new product that didn't exist before. You hear me say that all the time. Okay, so I think what I need here, I'm just going to repeat the same thing that I did up there, but we're going to not do the let on that. Same kind of thing. Oh wait, no, we don't need that anymore, right? Oh, that's the one we just did, duh. Okay, so we don't need this one, but we need the new one, which is the mutation, which is this one. All right, cool. Yes. All right, now the deal with this. Okay, do we just need to move that there? Yeah, I think we just need. So the deal with this is, so I think we do the same thing. I think we specify project. Oh, but this is going to be a string. I think this one is string because now it's a node ID. So I think that's project ID. So we got the project ID in data before. So let's call this, I think this is going to be project, right? Let me go back here. Data, organization, project next, ID. So the object dot data dot organization dot project next dot ID. Okay. So there goes project, and then we'll call this one issue maybe. It's going to be an issue-ish kind of thing. Oops, no. So this will be project dot data dot organization dot project next dot ID. I wonder how, well, maybe it gives back an error if that stuff doesn't exist, because I guess I shouldn't have to have all these question marks here. I'm going to leave them there for now, but I should just be able to know. Yeah. I'm gonna check on that later. I'm gonna try just switching out, say, this project number for 57 or something that doesn't exist. We'll try that out. Oh, no, not COC. No, I'm talking about something that will just I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe COC does this. I want something that would just format GraphQL, that I say I put a comment like this, GraphQL or something, or maybe I put a comment inside the string, and then it knows, oh, this is a GraphQL string, and then it just formats it. That's what I'm looking for. So I tried COC once and I did not like it. I don't like most of the autocompletes because the autocompletes have, so for every possible good solution, they have 10 to 20 bad solutions in the autocomplete, because it's the whole list. And so I find it useful for some things. There's one that I tried in Go that I kind of liked. I just needed to tweak the editor, and I think I would have really liked it, and it makes a lot of sense in Go. But it makes the editing process so incredibly slow. If I remember correctly, COC is the one where it's just dog slow. And that is not something that I like. Because I like to be able to type very, very fluidly. I don't like to have to stop typing to wait for the computer. I want to be able to just type. Okay, anyway. What is it complaining about? Missing semicolon? Sure, whatever. But it could fix that on its own. It doesn't need me to fix that for it. Issues defined but never used. There's got to be a syntax. Syntax error. There we go. Okay. So let's look at this one. Project ID. This should be, I guess we should just call this project ID here. Oh, bless me. Project ID. Project ID. All right, cool. So then we have project ID down here, which I guess maybe I should just as well move all of that down here. Anyway, do we need the org? We need content ID. Ooh, what? Content ID? What does that mean? Let me go back to the docs here. Content ID. Replace content ID with a node. What? Hold on. Oh, okay. Node ID of issue or pull request that you want to add. All right, got it. So let me just go back to my other file real quick. And we'll just do the same thing here. Where I think we already have board, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're loading board. There we are. I don't need all of these things. All right, so we're loading board from there. So here, and the nice thing about this is this action in of itself is idempotent, meaning no matter how many times I perform this action, I'm not going to create extra nonsense. But we do still want to be efficient about it. We don't want to, especially because of the API rate limits, we don't want to be creating things over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, so we got the issue here, got the content ID. I'm going to call this issue ID. Well, this is actually issue node ID. Maybe I should. We'll just leave it. We'll just call it issue ID. When we're doing GraphQL, it just means a different thing. That's what it is. Okay, so issue ID is also a string. Oops. And again, I'm not quite sure. I think that the exclamation means not null, but it might mean nullable. I don't know that it would make a lot of sense for it to mean nullable, and especially in this context. Okay, and what we want to get back, what it's saying is what we want to get back from the next item, because the item doesn't exist yet. Maybe that's why it's called next item. I don't know why it's called next item. But we want to get back the ID. We probably want to get back some other stuff from it too. I don't know. But we'll at least get back the ID. And it might be that we're creating an item here. I'm actually not. It says add project next. So that I'll be interested to know if the ID of the item matches the ID of the content or not. Because to me, it seems like that would make a lot of sense, but maybe not, because it's a metadata container. So it's a metadata container that can have additional information nested on top of it. So you've got the issue, which has all of its metadata, and then you've got the project that has its metadata, and when you join them together, then you have additional metadata in that join, such as maybe things that go into the custom fields. Although I think those make it into the issue as well. So not quite sure on that one. All right. So login is not necessary anymore. Okay. Project ID is necessary, and then we need issue ID. So for issue ID, node ID, like this. Again, we'll just call it issue. I don't know if that's going to get me in trouble or not. Am I going to regret having called it issue ID when it's really issue node ID? All right, and let's see, issue ID. All right, what did I do wrong here? Let's go data. Project. We're calling it project now to differentiate. Okay, cool. Oh no, there's errors. Expected value not to be null. So there's undefined. So apparently I'm doing the wrong thing. That's what I'm doing the wrong thing. I have the Trello ID and I'm overlaying it on the GitHub ID. So let me go back to my board here. So what I need to do is I need to do store.get and what do I call this? Check item. Let me go check and see what I called it in the other file. So this is just going to be ID. And this is going to be, well, this is just, no, this is going to be a task, right? Or we're going to call it item because it's check item. So this is going to be an item. We're going to have item.id, and this is going to be the full issue. Let me just call this issue, or call it full issue, sure. And so then from full issue, we'll have node ID. So that's what will go right here is full issue.node ID. I hate mixing and matching underscores. We should all use underscores. We just should for data. But it's not the way the world is. And we got to work with what we were given to some degree. All right. All right. Ba-da-da-da. Interesting. So check this out. This is kind of cool. Project Next, PN. I wonder if Project Next means Project Beta. Maybe that's why it's called Project Next. It's the next iteration of projects. It's interesting they don't call it Memos or whatever it is that they're calling it in the... They have 3 different APIs. That's crazy. They have a form encoded API, they have a JSON API, and they have a GraphQL API. That's a lot of APIs. Anyway, but check this out. So there's PN, and then over here there's item, and so this is PNI, Project Next Item. And then this was, this was item, issue, or maybe it's, I don't know if it's I for issue or I for item. But it'd be interesting to see if we had a pull request or something like that, what that would look like. But it just neat, just kind of neat the way the IDs work there. Okay, so now we go check and we see, did we get the pull request? I've got too many things open. Let me close some stuff out. Did we get the pull request added? I just want to see, do I want to keep this one open? No, I don't want to keep that one open. To our project. Let me go up here. And migration 1, projects. What? Okay, let's go here, projects. Migration test. Okay, cool. All right. So we got that. And I think that the assignee bit we can manage through issues. Okay, cool. The status bit. I don't know what that represents. Let me go back over here. Does status get represented over here now? It does. Okay. So, I don't know what to make of that. But I do know that we need to do this. We need to save. We need to somehow save that these are linked together, that this exists in the project. So I think, I got to think about the way to represent this. I may want a separate store. This is what I may want to do. I may want to have a store that is just for the raw GitHub objects, and then have a separate store that's just for the linkings. And make sure that I'm keeping my metadata for this ETL process in that store, rather than trying to copy it onto the issue object as I have been doing. Okay, I don't want to do that quite yet, but I think that's the right thing to do. Especially considering... Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to say, let's set this checklist item. Let's do full issue dot... well, I guess, will it have related project ID? It could be a part of multiple projects. So it would be... This is not issue. This is project item, right? So we would want to know project item ID equals project item. Then what would that look like? Project item dot data dot add project da 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 da. So this is what that's going to look like. So project item dot data dot add project next item. Weird, but okay. Dot project item. Okay. Beautiful. I think I'm going to get rid of the question marks because I think if this comes back, it has to be in that format. I don't think it's possible for it to come back and not, and for that to be missing. So let's get rid of that and then set this with full issue. And then what I want to be able to do is same thing as before. We want to be able to console.log. This is going into the project. I wonder... Okay, console.log. Right here, probably. Console.info, rather. So we want to link... What are we linking? What's the right way to look at this? Oops. Full issue dot node ID. Well, yeah. Let's call it this. We're going to link project number, whatever project number is. Do we have a way? Where was that set at? That was project. Oh, I should have done, GitHub project should have been right here. Not using magic numbers. Magic numbers bad. Magic variables good. Yeah, otherwise, how do we know that this 2 isn't the same as that 2? I almost replaced that one. That would have been very incorrect. All right, so GitHub project. Let's do it like this for now. All right, so what I want to find out, though, what is it? Project ID.item ID. So this would be more of if this, then we want to return, but we don't have, yeah, if that we want to return. Okay. So let's take a look. Error, no ID. Variable project of type int was provided invalid value. All right, where do we have variable project? Project. And, oh, because this needs to be parsed. Right. So let's go ahead and parse this as decimal. What did I do wrong? Oh, duh. Right here. Needs to be parsed there. Okay, cool. Let's run this again. Invalid value. Did I not just put project in my env? Whoa! What? I could have sworn I had this here. Okay, well, that's why that wasn't there. All right, and then issue is not defined. Issue project item. All right, cool. So I think a miracle has happened, and the hard part here is already done. Cool. So let's go take a look at, wait, was it this one? Let's go take a let's take a look at another one. Let's do whatever checked item 1 is, assuming it's there. Nope, there's nothing there. Let's do next card. Let's assume that the next card will have something. And it does. Cool. Great. So this is linked. Alrighty. Okay. Good time to commit. Well, I want to get a little bit further before we commit. This is a good time to stage, let's say. Let's say that. So I'm going to add example.env. Ah, that's what I'd updated. I didn't update my actual env. I updated my example env. Yes. Okay. I don't know if I like token beam right there, but I guess that makes sense. And I actually want to rename this to owner. I'm going to put a little to do in here for that. I'll do that in a minute. Or maybe I'll do it right now. It shouldn't take that long. So I should just be able to do this. Say anywhere that in the project that we have the string GitHub org, we want to change it to GitHub owner. And we want to do that in all the files here and all the files there. And we want to put it in all of the .env star.env. Okay. Oops. And then we should see that that was updated. Oh, crap. I already had some other stuff in here that I should have committed before I made that change. I'm going to back that change out for just a second. So I'm just going to rerun that same thing. But I had another local change that I want to make sure that gets in as its own commit. Wait, hold on. I'm really confused. Oh, okay, it is in there. All right. GH. Ah, dang it. Hold on a second. I'm just going to take my GraphQL stuff out for a bit because I want this change to be reflective of just... I thought I'd already committed this. I'm pretty sure we will see that my last commit says... Nope, it doesn't. All right, cool. So this is performance change exponential back off to 60 seconds times 2n. What is it? Yeah. Base exponential back off on 60 seconds and typo fixes and add missing awaits. I will say that. Okay, cool. And then let me go back in here and then I'm going to add in my GraphQL stuff. And then I'll go ahead and add that. Doot, 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 and block the bot. Whack-a-bot, whack-a-bot. All right, I'm gonna save that one for later. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and stage the GQL file, but I'm not actually going to commit that. I'm just staging it so that my work is I had things in a working state. If I change something and I break it, I can check it out from where it's staged. Essentially, I have a draft that's going to be available to me. But I want to rework this to actually go into the other piece. I think I might want to rework this to be... I think you know where I think I want this to go? I think I want to create GH_GraphQL. Well, no, we could expose that directly. That's fine. I suppose we could expose the request directly as well. But let's do gh.projects equals this. gh.projects dot... what do we want to say? Add? We need to get the ID. Okay, so I think I want a get ID. Hold on, what do I have in my paste buffer? Nothing. All right, good. By the way, did you know in Vim you can have at least 26 different copy registers? They're called registers, I think is what they call it. Copy registers, because you can have one for each letter of the alphabet. Just instead of doing Y to yank something, you hit quote and then a letter and then Y, and it saves it in that buffer, and that will be in your .vim info file. So it'll stay around forever. You got to be careful if you're putting secrets. You got to be careful when you're copying secrets with Vim, or if you copy a block of text that has a secret in it, you put it in a register. It'll stay in that register for years and years and years until you overwrite that register. I've gone into my Vim info file before and realized, oops, I had proprietary information in there by mistake. All right, so let's go back around to this and say, essentially, I don't think that's really useful for any other thing. So here's our get ID. We don't need to pass anything into it. Well, we do need to. If we're assuming, what we're assuming here is that the project number. Let project number equal. So what we're assuming here is that we're intending to use this code just to operate on one project, not on any number of projects. So for the simplicity of this code, this is the correct choice to make. All right. And I actually do prefer to follow this pattern where if you're using something that is basically, if something is out of scope for the function, generally speaking, move it up. So these things go up to the top of the function. In fact, they should probably go in some initialization and just be part of gh._owner, gh._project, gh._ whatever. So I could do like this and then just reuse that. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. That's fine. But I think if I want to make it cleaner, that's what I would do. But I like to pull these things up to the top because process.env has nothing to do with this function. This is kind of a code smell. Likewise, when you're doing, say, request object stuff in Express, and you have rec, res. Rec and res have nothing to do with the work that you want to get done. They're just generic objects. And so I like to pull the things apart up at the top. And because then when you go to refactor the function, you don't have to go around and replace rec everywhere and that sort of thing, or process.env everywhere. All right, so this requires no information. But what this really should do so this should be a promise. I'm just going to call it null for now. So if gh.projects.id return gh.projects.id, and I'm going to say return await, because what we're going to do is we're going to turn that into a promise. So we're going to say this whole GraphQL bit here. We'll do a dot then. Do I want to do it this way? I think I do want to do it this way. So we're going to get this project here. So let me think about this bit. This is one of the cases where await can actually be dangerous, because you can create a mutex lock in JavaScript now that there's this sort of situation. I need to be careful that I don't accidentally create a mutex lock. So what I need to do is say that, what is it, gh.projects.id, gh.projects.id is equal to wait. hold on. Let me think about this for a second. I know what this needs to be. Hold on. I know what this needs to be. I know exactly what this needs to be. Maybe. Hold on. Let me think about this. Because basically this function only ever needs to run once, and it should run when this is initialized. But because it's async, it's going to be async. Okay, we don't need to wait for that. That's going to be a promise. But now this will be a promise. And that will work. And then we don't need to do any funny business here. And then we just return the project ID. There we go. And we don't need any of this because we're going to get an error. We're going to get an error at the must OK level. So I defined a function up above, must OK, or no, I just check for .OK, right? Yeah. So we're going to get an error at the is not OK level if we'd ever end up in a case where this is not true. So we can do let project equals, and then we can return all of that. And then, okay, yep. Those two things go together. All right, that's a little bit confusing, but it works because then now, essentially now, anytime we call get ID, which we're going to need the ID all the time, project node ID, and maybe I should call this get node ID. I don't know. All right. Okay, now we want to add, and what we want to add, we need the node ID of the issue, right? Issue node ID. Let me go back over here and grab this out from this one. And then we've just increased the ability of our API. We could turn this into a test function. Then I can commit the changes to the API. That's in a good state. And then we can move forward to taking that simple little abstraction that we've created out of that function, bring it back into the ETL.js, and move forward from there, hopefully just pulling in a bunch of stuff. Ryan, do you have any feedback on, we're going to be able to get all of these things added to the project? Do you want me to just add everything into the project? Or just the open ones? Just add open, non-closed issues into the project? Or what kind of guidance can you give me on this? Because this is now working. We're ready to move on to phase 2. But that should, so this gives you project item. So this should give back that project item ID. This should give back the linking ID. Linking ID of this, essentially, yeah. Okay. So this should be gh.projects.add full issue.nodeID. Let link ID equal await. Let's call this link ID. This is really project item node ID, node ID, node ID, PNI node ID. And we don't need project item there because we've already stringified it. Okay. So here we're going to get the project node ID. And we're going to have issue node ID. And then we're going to need to return back. Oh, did I delete that by mistake? I think I just kind of, oh, there it is. We're going to need to return back this project item. So return. Okay. It's fairly good looking. I guess we don't necessarily need this. That's optimization I don't need to worry about. Actually, I think this is what I want to do. I want to rethink this just a touch. No. There we go. Okay, I think this is actually what I wanted to do. Let me explain this a little bit. So, whoops, get ID. We don't have that. So when I called get node ID, if we already have the promise, we don't want to call this 2, 3, 4, 5 times. If we spin up a bunch of processes or not process, but if we decide we're going to do, say, 5 things at a time, we don't want the first 5 things that it does to call get node ID all at once, 5 times. And so if we're in the process of getting this is going to be a promise, this ID, I guess I should call it ID promise. That might be a better thing to call this. Let me go call it that elsewhere as well, just so it's more clear that it's not the thing, but it's the promise of the thing. So if we're in process of doing the thing, then we're just going to return back the item when we get it. So that's if it's already in process, just basically return the one that's already in process. And so here is where we say this GraphQL request, we're creating a promise for it. And so it's totally possible that while this is executing, this gets called again, in which case this is what executes. Then down here, we're using the .then so that we can say that basically this promise of this ID is this thing that we're returning. That's what this promise ultimately is. It's whatever the result of all the chained promises is. And so we're doing this promise chaining so that we can get the ID in a promise. Then we're returning await with the promise ID, the ID promise, which is going to wait for this to get done. So we're not awaiting here, which would stop the execution, which would mean that something else could come in and then be executing We're instead letting the promise get generated, and then we're awaiting right here. So then we don't need to do this. So then we can do this wherever we want, wherever we need it, and it will only get the node ID once, and it basically becomes part of the initialization process. That's kind of a pedantic thing, but I can sleep better tonight knowing that I did that. All right, let me take a look at what Ryan's got to say here. I'd like to make a migration to Repo where we import only active, not completed or archived bounties cards from Trello. We revise the script to also add some labels and project custom fields. Right, we need to parse the task issues and pull out the dash amount, put it into a custom project field. Okay, so let's break that down. Do we want to do, I'd kind of want to do the labels and the custom fields should both be pretty easy. I kind of wanted to do the dash stuff because, follow the money and all that. Okay, this looks like this will be correct now. That should be correct. Okay, so if I run this again, as is right now, what I'm expecting to have happen is, yeah, good. It's really fast. It just outputs that it's already got it. Now, if I run this again this way, takes a second, and then it's done. Cool. All right, so now we're in a really good place. I think it is fair to say, I should probably document this now. Let's go ahead and get some documentation going. So basically, we have our GitHub thing, and we have github.projects. Let's see. I'm going to say we have our .env. Well, we already know this. That's already copied in the example. So projects dot add node ID. I'm just going to put a couple things down here. Issues dot, what do we have? Dot create, and then title, body, assignments. I got issue update. Then we've got number. Let me just see how we're using this here. Issues create, issues update. Oh, and we can have state. All right, what else? Basically, we just have issues update and create, and then we've just added the ability to have projects add. Okay. Oops. Issue or PR node ID. That's essentially what we have. I'm going to add that to a project. Cool. I should probably have an init function for this. I'm going to make this a little bit clearer. So we're going to do owner process.env.github org is what I'm going to put here now because I'm going to refactor that in a second. And then we're going to have, no, I'm not going to change this yet. I'm going to leave that alone for now. We've got something that's working. Now we've documented it. Now we commit it. Just review to make sure. Yeah, we added some API stuff here. We added project 2. We added, what's all this? Actually, I don't want to. Let's do reset on GQL. I don't actually want to add that. So we're just looking at things we're staging. We added the ability to do GraphQL. Okay. So this is feature, add projects, can add projects, project items via GraphQL. Okay, cool. That's up. All right. I don't want to make the migration to Repo yet. But I do want to do a little bit more parsing. And let's see how we do this. I'm just going to use regular expressions. It's a cheap shot, but it works for me. All right. Who's ready to learn regular expressions? Are you? Are you? Are you? No, I need to do this the other way. Everybody gets a regular expression. You get a regular expression. You get a regular expression. You get a regular expression. Everybody gets a regular expression. All right, so I'm going to do this in here. We're almost getting to a point where the card parsing could go into its own file. Just the card to issue, task to issue, the transformation could kind of go. Because I don't think there's anything else we're going to do with them, right? Because this is just going through checklist issue to item. All right. Item.name, checklist item. So checklist item, these are the things that could have dash associated with them, right? And we also might want to have some labels associated with this. I don't want to deal with the labels yet, but I'm going to get to the labels soon. What I want to deal with first is the dash. So item.name, and we could take a look at how this was being parsed before, but I think basically it's going to be like this. Let task equals, and then if task ends with dash. How is this being done? Is this being done consistently? How consistently is it being done? That's what I need to know. No, let's just go straight to the regular expression. Actually, I have something. Dang it. Let me see if I can find it. Just give me a second here. I have the perfect meme for this. But it's really appropriate. Oh, I got to look at that. Okay. Do. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, okay. So there's this part in Star Wars where Luke is talking to Rey, and she's dealing with some sort of well, that literal water well that has something to do with the dark side. And then Luke gets angry at her and says, "You went straight to it. You didn't even try to stop yourself." And that's what I wanted to do with the regular expression, but it's taken too long to find the little picture, so I'm not gonna. That's a waste of time. Okay, item.name trim is going to be the task, and what we want to do is we want to see basically if there is a digit. We can do any number of digits, and then a dot, and then any number of digits, and then any number of spaces. Oh wait, this part's optional. And then dash. So this is about as complex well, not about as complex, but this is kind of the level of complexity that I try not to go too much further than this when it comes to my regular expressions. -re. And actually, this should be task.match. Let m equals task.match -re, if I'm doing this right. I think I am. So this is going to capture, this is a little bit difficult because there's special characters in it. Some task 1.0 dash. So I'm going to say matches the following. So it has to have oops, that would, of course, that should be 0.5. So it should match any of these. It should be able to pull out the number. That's what we want to do. And so I'm using spaces. The \s plus means match any number of spaces. So any number of spaces, and then a literal parentheses, then any number of spaces, then any number of digits. So it could be 10 dash. Then optionally a period and any number of digits. And then any number of spaces, and then dash, and then any number of spaces, and then a literal parenthesis. And then the part that I want to capture is this part right here. So I'm putting parentheses around this because I want to capture the number. So this is to capture the number of dash. And so I'm going to take the task, I'm going to match that, and if I have a match, then the match should be, if we look at m sub 1, this whole match is m sub 0, and so m sub 1 should be just the parentheses. And again, sorry for that. Makes your eyes bleed a little bit. Oh, and apparently it's invalid. It's not even a real regular expression for some reason. Let me see if I can figure out why that is. I've got backslash in the wrong place somewhere. That doesn't deserve a backslash. But that does deserve a backslash. And that doesn't. This is a capture group. But it's an optional capture group. And this is the complete capture group. So if I did m sub 2, we would actually catch this. The m number is defined by the number of unescaped parentheses. So 0 is starting from the beginning, and then there's 1, and then there's 2, and if there was another, that would be 3, and then they close, 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 and then if we had more, that would be 4. So that is essentially what that is right there. So mo money. Let's console.log that. So that's not going to do anything, but it should, I should see this printed out. I don't see it printed out. That's a problem. I don't see it printed out maybe because it's skipping. Checklist item to issue. How can I get there? I have to upsert checklist item. So where am I choosing to skip? Upsert checklist item. I'm choosing to skip right there. So that should work. Okay. Let me see. Remember that this may help. Yeah. Yeah. So I will bring that up, but I think so. I'm just gonna take this real quick. So this is the type of thing that's nice to have a unit test for. For right now, I'm just going to throw this in here, and we're gonna look at some task 1-.match, and we should see exactly what I said. And we don't, and that's okay. Let me back this up a little bit. So let me just try to find a digit. Back up a little bit. Oh, I see what I did wrong, actually. I already see it. This should be star, and this should be star. Because I said any number, and 0 is a valid number. There we go. That's it. So there we get 1 right there. So I'm going to check this out with a couple of different numbers. But, so we can put some spaces here. We still get that. We can put some spaces here. Still get it. We can put 0.1. Still get it. So again, this is the 0th. This is the 1th. So what we don't allow right now is this. Do we want to allow point without I think I just put this in here. There we go. Do we want to allow like this? Because then we run into kind of a problem. It's nicer if we don't have to deal with that particular case. Because if we do have to deal with that particular case, then basically everything becomes optional. In which case, then we have to actually either build a real parser for it, or we have to say that this is also valid. And then we just have nothing, which I guess that's fine. We can do that too. Oh yeah, that should work just fine if we want it to. So I can change it to be like this. So I just made that change. So what I need to do here is we need to just turn this into a table test. So I'm going to turn this into a table test. And this regexes are the perfect use case for this type of thing. I get rid of this. Really, I should just get rid of everything up to the comment. So what we do is we put in what we expect to match from this. And it needs to be strings because they are actually all strings. We can parse them into numbers later, but when they come out of the match, they come out of the match as a string. And it won't matter. So for example, it won't matter if we have like this dash or this dash. So this one, whoops. So do we want to support the case with the 0.5? We probably do. So let me think on that for a second, because we can do it. it's not the way we write numbers normally, but and then I just, yeah. So it's all about how granular you want to get. And then I have to move the match over just a touch too. So we could say this is optional and this is optional. But basically, if either one is optional, then that means that it's also possible for it to be empty. But that's okay, because we can actually, we can detect that fairly easily. So that's not actually a big problem. So we do this. And we just run for each. So and then we have pair, and then we have, or how should we do this? So we can do let input and expected equals pair. We could maybe even do that up there. I don't know if we can. And then we just say, so this is getting a little funky do. I need to, let's see. Let m equals input.match -re. If not m, and then I think, let me count the number of parentheses here. Sorry, this is a little bit difficult. That's when escaped. This is not escaped. So this is still 1. Yeah. So if not m1, throw new error. If m1 is not equal to expected, then we throw new error expected but got, let me say, we probably should put in here I and just say I, oops, input expected this but got, and then maybe plus JSON.stringify m null 2. There we go. So here we have the input and then what we expect to get out of the input. Oops, and I should probably console.log output equals m1. So if not m or, so output equals m1 output. So let's see this. So there we are. And I should probably JSON.stringify this so we can see exactly that there's no extra spaces or anything. Okay, so there we go. So that's that. Is there anything else you would like me to test in terms of the regular expression to parse out dash? Should be able to add this. We should be able to add this. We should be able to add this. And really all it cares is that, oh wait, no, we couldn't add this because it requires there to be a space before. But yeah. I'll move test.js to tests, and we're going to call this dash parser re.js. And then I'm going to move this back over here. And then I'm just going to say C tests dash parser re.js for matching pattern. Whoops. I'm going to say generally it's string, it's whatever, it's something like 1.0 dash. With spaces. All right, there we go. That's good comment for that. Okay. So with this, if we wanted to, we could get rid of it from the end. So we could say, we have the match, and is it safe to assume that it always happens at the end of the file? But in any case, so we could do this. We could do this a little bit differently, because I could just take the dash amount out of the title of the issue if we want to do that. Yeah. So some dumb task is going to be fine. So I can. Yeah, that's going to be fine, because the key thing that it's looking for is dash and then nothing other than space and a parenthesis. That's the key thing that it's looking for over here. But do we want to be able to take this out? Because let's say that we do want to be able to take it out. Then what I would want to do is say from here, everything inside the parentheses. Now I've just changed my parentheses. Let me go change my test here. So because this is working and I have not committed it yet, I'm just going to comment that out. Regular expressions, in my mind, are write only. You don't edit them. You make different ones. You create a regular expression, you generate some use cases for it, and then you're done. So this task, this is going to be fine. And now this is going to move from M1 to M2. Let me just double check that that is in fact what happens. Yep. Well, no, kind of not. Hold on. Let me. Oh, right. No. This works. And then this is the output of M1. And we could look at the output of M2. Let me just do this. So now you can see, so we can grab that and whatever amount of space is on either side of it, and we could just get rid of it. In fact, let me make sure that it grabs all the spaces on either side. So one small change. Somewhere around here. One small change somewhere. Okay, so now all right, that shouldn't have broken it. Good. But now we get lots of extra space, and this would make it really easy to replace it. So if we wanted to take the string and we wanted to just get rid of all of the extra spacing, then I just want to console.log this as well. So we can get rid of the extra space. We just remove that item out of the string, which is now M1. So we could take input.replace output with nothing, well, with a single space. Then we do .trim. That's what we could do. It's now some task, some task, some task. And at worst, we just get an extra space where maybe it would be a little less desirable to get it. But I don't think that's that big of a deal. Okay. So anyway, for those of you that are coming and going from the stream, if you find any of this to be useful, if you learned something, I would love it if you just comment, especially with a time code, and say, hey, I like that little bit about regular expressions, or I learned this, or I learned that. Something like that. Something that, when other people come along, they can check in the comments and they can see. Also, appreciate thumbs up and subs. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers for my birthday. So, just for my birthday, man. Or woman. Or zebra. Whatever. Okay, so I'm going to copy this back on over. All right, so now let whole equals M1, let money equals M2, and then we could just do this little bit right here where we could replace whole with nothing. And then .trim. And then we could say, let body equals nothing. And then if money, then say body equals bounty. Let's do it this way. Money dash body. All right. So I think I could commit this and say, hey, we've parsed out the money, and then we can put a little to-do in here, add to custom field. Maybe we should go add a custom field. We could also return this so that when we're looking at this task, we could do this parsing beforehand. In fact, we probably should. We should probably do this parsing before we do checklist item to issue. There should probably be something of, let's parse it from the Trello format into our format, which is what this bit over here is doing, right? So let's see things he's got. I know he's parsing dash. What else? Was there anything else that he's parsing here? He's got the custom field stuff. That should definitely take a look at that when we get to more of the custom fields. Split task description. So let's see, task number. Okay. Oh yeah, we might want to get rid of the number. That was something that we might want to do, right? And then amount, parsing the amount. Username, avatar URL. Yeah, a lot of stuff's just already available. Passwords. Oh, this is because it's part of the other part of the app. Okay, anyway. I'm just going to leave this here for now. I actually do want to console.log the body of this where... let's see. Checklist item to issue. I just put the task here. let me do info task.body issue.body. Yeah, so I think we do want to parse those separately, but anyway, I need to move on from this. Oh, nope, I don't want to do that right now. I want to do this right now. Oh, and I broke it. How'd I break it? Whole. So if m, I'm going to let body here. Okay, so let name equals, oh, sorry. So actually should be task. And this whole thing should be task. Task equals, let's move this bit right to here. I don't think we need if money because we know there's going to be money. All right. Okay. So there we go. Now we've got that out. Let me go ahead and save this. Like I said, let me make sure that I don't have any garbage in here. This is mostly just good stuff. Yep. Okay, so feature, task, parse dash bounty amount. There we go. Okay, let me check down here. All right, so next we want to get rid of any of the numbers. Put the number in the custom field. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was thinking, I've got that in the issue list as well. Sure, that'll be a fine enough place to do this. So we can assume that, at worst there might be some spacing or something in front of those, but there's never going to be any, it's not going to be Bob 1. It's going to be at the start of the line. So let me see. I'm going to call this index RE. Also, this should say this. Some task 1 dash 1. Okay. All right. So I'm going to call this index RE. And we're going to start this over. And this one is so simple that we should just be able to kind of look at it and understand it. So we should have a digit. And then eventually, all right, I think this is what this should look like. There might be some space. It's going to be the beginning of the line. There might be some sort of white space. And there's going to be a digit. And then there shouldn't be any white space at all. And then there's going to be a closing parentheses. And then there should be some white space. So for example, 1, do this becomes 1, 2, do that becomes 2, but this is a no-go. And then this is a no-no. So is an acceptable pattern to match? We want to match things that look like this. We want to match slightly wrongly formatted things that look like this, but we don't want to match things that look like this or things that look like this. So we're going to start Yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this whole thing. So we're going to have an M. I guess we're going to have an M0. Why did I do that with the other one? That was kind of silly. I wrapped this whole thing in parentheses. It's already a match group. I could have left it in M1. Weird. Just the way the brain works, I guess. So again, we could I'm just going to put to do save as metadata, but this needs to be refactored out of this function in order for that to be the appropriate course of action. But we're just going to do let m equals task.match index.re, and then if m, same thing, we're going to do task equals task.replace m0 with nothing and trim, and then the actual match, which would be m sub 1, we could save as metadata. And so now we're going to strip out all of those leading bits there. That's what we're doing. So now let me actually do this. I'm going to do this in a slightly different place. All right, and let's put that let back in there. Checklist item. So I'm going to do item.name, item.name, item.name. Okay. Okay, so now you can see tasks no longer have the number in front of them. So all the numbers just went away. This is interesting though. Check that out. So this, okay, so the rule is not correct with the dash parsing. So dash, there are a number of these where there's an address afterwards. Okay. So we want to adjust that parser rule just a touch. So somebody could claim this. All right, this is interesting. Let's go back into the test here. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to flip this back over to 1. I'm going to flip this back to 1 and this to 0, which makes these name makes no sense. Okay, let me... Yeah, so we kept the if money part. They're not addresses? Oh. Are you Huh. Well, let's see if we can make something out of them. I wonder if maybe... Are these things similar? These look like IDs. I wonder, am I printing out an ID after this in some cases maybe? Let me go look at task right here. Okay. My bad. All's well. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And let's do something a little more useful. We're going to surround this with quotes. It could be there's a couple of strange things that can happen. Could be non-printing characters. But let's just take a look. Did I just screw it up? Did I just break all of them? I think I might have just broken all of them. Yeah, I think whatever I just did broke everything. Let me look at this again real quick. Oh no. I see what's going on here. Again. All right, so this refactoring is happening a little bit early. That's okay. It needs to. So test.name, and then this is we're gonna do item dot okay, we're gonna change a few of these things here real quick. Okay. Match if m money if item amount item.amount. Okay, this is moving there. Yeah, this is proving if we're going to do one more of these. My rule of thumb is kind of the rule of 3. So if we're going to do even one more of these, then this actually needs to get refactored out into another function, because now this is clearly becoming the transform function for this. All right. So now I'm going to do item.name.match-re, and then we don't have this anymore. And then we have item.name.replace item.name, and then we're going to have item.amount equals amount. Let's change this from money to amount. That feels less dirty. All right. And now we're going to take a look at this again. Okay. And now, that should have parsed that out. I did something wrong. Let me run my tests again. Tests look good. Let me literally copy this here, whatever this is. And then I'm going to copy this into the test, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm doing what I think that I'm doing. So here is actual thing, and then what we expect to get out of this is like so, like that. Yep, that's working. All right, so I'm just formatting it wrong somewhere. Let me check to see where am I formatting it wrong. First, let me go back into the test and make sure that I'm grabbing the exact expression that I'm testing, because that's always important. And then from the exact expression that I'm testing, this is the whole, this is the amount. We've got item.name. Oh, and of course, this is our problem yep, that's it. I just pasted in the wrong place. Once I go paste in the right place, we should see what we expect. Oops. All right, cool. There we go. Except that we now have undefined dash, and that's because, again, I just copied part of the wrong thing. What did I copy wrong? Oh, that's what I copied wrong. Okay, cool. Last time, boom. There we go. So now we have parsed out the leading and the trailing. So now we just have names. Another thing that we ought to do is kind of limit the number of characters that we're going to have here. So basically, if we delimit by spaces, I'm going to do this real quick just to make the things a little bit better when they load in. Then I want to move on to the next task so that we get something a little more presentable. Because this is, it's easy to spend too much time on this sort of thing when we don't need to get this perfect now, and I'm spending too much time on it. But there's one more piece to this that I do want to get right, which is that we want to change the name. Okay, now I'm going to break my rule of 3 because I'm going to do a third thing, but I'm going to leave this here because I don't want to spend the time to refactor right now because we need to move on to something else. But I do know that this whole bit needs to get refactored. Okay, so we're going to take item.name, whatever the new item.name is, and we're going to split on white space. And then we are going to do we're going to do let name is a string, and we're going to let body, or let's call it desk. And then we're going to take the count of words here. So what is this going to give us? This is going to give us a word. All right, we're going to keep a counter. Let counter equals 0. So word.length. So count plus equals word.length plus 1. The word plus a space. So if, and this actually should be a sum, not a for each. So if count is greater than or equal to, and then we're going to do, let me do it this way instead. Hold on. This is going to be more clear. So we're going to take name and we're going to do plus equals W plus, well, I don't know, should I do it this way? Space. Okay. And then we're going to say count. We don't need to count anymore. This is it. So if name.length is greater than or equal to 50, then this is what we're going to do. Name equals name.trem plus ... And then we need one other thing, which is I. And we need to know that an I is not equal to, crap. Let words equals this here. Words. Hold on. So if the length of this should actually be title. And this, now this kind of goes back into the other function. All right. So if the length of the title is greater than 50 and words.length is less than or equal to I plus 1. Wait, hold on. Yeah, greater than I plus 1, then return true. No. Dang it. How should I do this? Description is going to be... there's a little bit more state that needs to be here in this for this to work nicely. I'm not managing that state. Shouldn't shortcut it too much. I'm going to go back to the for each. Okay, I'm going to change this around a little bit. So if title is more than 50 characters, and we have another word, then title is this, and desk plus equals W. Else I think that's right. All right, so if the previous title has brought it to greater than 50 characters, then the new title is going to be the previous title with ellipses, and then we're going to add the new word to description. Oh, that's not going to work. So if description, we're just going to continue to add to description and return. If title.length is less than 50, then we're going to add to the title and return. Otherwise, we're going to trim the title and start adding to the description. There we go. That's what I wanted. And I'm going to move this to the other function because that's where it makes the most sense. And then I'm done with this piece for now. And then we can get rid of that. And we can say, if there's already description, then description plus equals a couple of new lines. And then description plus equals bounty. And then we have title and description. All right, let's take a look at that. Dang it, I should have saved before I did that because I had something that was working. Okay, and this is one of those tomato potato things. So we're seeing where it cuts off. I would like that to print better, so I'm going to update this, and then I'm done with it. Then I'm moving on. So this really doesn't belong here. Bah! yeah, definitely should be refactoring this into a transform function. If item.desk, 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 item.title, item.desk. Okay. And then back here again. So item._title, item._desk, 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 item._title, item._title, boop, boop. And then last thing that should happen here is, should trim this. Whoops, why'd that go up there? That's so rando. Oh, asynchronous linter kicked in. Okay. Make 50 cars title and the rest body. Nix number prefix capture bounty amount. All right. Test it, add it, move on. Okay, this one right here. Still, I'm not printing the right thing here. This should be title. Oh, what did I do? Nope, this should be ID. This should be title. Okay, cool. So task, oh, what did I do? What did I do? All right. Cool. How's everybody doing tonight? I know that this is kind of just a task, but still, it'd be nice to have a little chat. Yep. Okay, cool. This is it. So now if we have heck-a-long paragraphs like this, review and document more ideal end-to-end UX as, and then, there's the rest of the paragraph, and the rest of the paragraph goes into the body. So that'll be good. Definitely more readable. All right, so this whole bit that we're doing, what was my last commit? My last commit was parse-bounty amount. So this commit will be parse number and parse number split long tasks into title and body. I think that's basically what that did. All right, cool. Now let's move on. Let's move on to what is going to bring the most value, because it's 12 a.m. I would like to get to bed within an hour. So two things that seem outstanding are we want to be able to attach custom fields, and we want to be able to import a ton of these. So what do we want to do first? Import, do we want to create custom fields first? Or do we want to import a ton of these first? I'm going to go look at the custom fields thing because I think that might be relatively simple with what was just done to then take the amount, manually go create the custom field for now, take the amount, and then insert it into a custom field. So let me see what that is like. Update a custom number, text, or date field. Oh, okay, already. Project ID, item ID, field ID. So how do I get the field? Replace field ID with the ID of the field you want to update. Of course. You cannot use, these are special fields. So we don't have the option to create a field anyway. So we just have to find out by magic what the field is, which is what he had to do in the Trello thing. So, yeah, tomato, potato, you know? So let's take a look at this. Open up ye old console. Let me do this over here so I don't expose my cookie yet again. We want to have a custom field. The new field is dash. I'm just going to call it dash, and we want this to be a number. Okay, and I'm looking over here to see. We got it success true. Visible fields. Title, assignee, status, 951458. I think that the 951458 is indeed our dash bounty field. I will test this by putting in 0.5 and hit enter, and then I will see what does the payload look like. 951 Mutex project column ID. Looks right to me. Mutex, that's what they're calling it. It doesn't look like a node ID though. I would expect a node ID to look different based on what the other IDs look like in the documentation. So field ID is field ID, but they don't give an example of what the field ID is. Replace with ID of single field that you want to update. So let's just try it out. Let's try it out and see if it works. I'm going to go here and, well, first of all, let's go into our .env. I'm going to say GitHub dash field equals. Let's just put that in there. And then let's look at this updating custom field. Okay. Update custom field number or date field. Let's see what we can do. Mutation. All right, mutation. That's what we want. That's what we got. Open it up. All right. So we're going to have field ID, and then we're going to have value. project we're going to get here. Now, item ID is going to be that special node. Do they have a way to list fields? Finding the node ID of a field. ID name settings. Fields first 20. I don't know if that's what I want. Take a look at that later. I'm going to try this first, and then I'm going to go back over to that. All right. All right, set field value. Would this really have been more complex as JSON? Is it just because they wanted to be able to do comments inside of here? Not really clear, because it seems this could have been described as JSON pretty easily. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm not thinking something through here. Because nobody can write this manually, you know? You have to be copying and pasting from something, or you have to be using one of the tools that does the autocomplete. So would not the tool with the autocomplete have worked just as well with JSON, if not better? What was the impetus for creating yet another wire transfer protocol? We must because we can. We must because we can. We must because we can. All right, so we got the field ID. We got item ID and field ID. All right. Maybe because they wanted to put the type information here. Okay. Oh, wait. The value will always be a string. The numberness of it is handled on once it gets through the API, I think. Seems so verbose and redundant. So wait, I'm going to update the field and we're going to get back the item ID. Okay, whatever. I guess it's just so that it can give something back. All right. Add project next item. It's getting GraphQL in here. I'm gonna take my rest off. Let's see, project ID, but we still need to get item ID. Item ID. And then what? So you got project item field value. Should value be any? I guess we'll find out soon enough. And then this is the same thing, project item data. Oh, except it's going to be update project, blah, 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 blah. And then project next item and then ID. And then I'm just going to put field value. I don't know. I'm just going to call it resp. Result.data. There we go. Yeah. Feels a little generic, but whatever. Oh. So those of you that are still hanging on, what's up? What are you doing? Don't be sleeping on my watch. I don't wear a watch. The puns are getting bad. You know that's time for more do. One day I'm going to mess up and I'm just going to... And I'm never going to be able to get the sticky off the monitors. By the way, I found out that the matte diffusion that's on these monitors, it's something that somebody paid extra to put on here. That seems redonkulous. I thought that glossy monitors cost extra and they needed extra stuff, but 'tis not so. Matte monitors, it costs extra to make them matte. It doesn't cost extra to make them glossy, if I understood correctly. But I'd kind of like to get the matte coating off of here. I don't know. The matte's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. It's not terrible. Okay. All right, I need to pick up the picante here. Okay, item ID, field ID. All right, let's get to the point where I can test this and know that I got it wrong and start fixing it. Bless me. I don't know why I did that lowercase. I probably ought to have just fixed that everywhere. Oh, I actually don't even want this. Yeah, I don't want that. What I want is one layer of abstraction on top of this. I want to be able to say, not set field value, but rather I want to be able to say set dash amount. And so the field ID goes away because field ID becomes process.env.github field dash field. Is that what I set it as? GitHub dash field. Okay. I don't think it's going to be right, but we can try it out nonetheless. Okay. And then set field value. So we're just going to pass through like this. Item ID, field ID, value. Like that. So now I should be able to go over here and call set dash amount. And then I'm just going to put in arbitrarily 1.0. And then I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call .toString on this, or perhaps string value if not value. Okay, if string is not equal to type of value, throw new error value. Whoops. No, that's not what we want. Dang it, come on. Why am I doing so bad today? I cannot hit the quote character. If not value, really, I think I just want undefined. No, because dash amount should be a number. So if is nan parse int value so if not value and is nan no, dang it, the types in JavaScript sometimes, you know. Basically, I want to allow a number or a string, but it's going to be a string. Should be a number. Should pass in as a number at first, and then we're going to set it. Is that how we should do it? Okay, what happens? See, my fear is that if I do parse int undefined, that's going to just treat it as 0. Oh, good. How about null? Good. Okay, my fear has been assuaged. Not a number. There we go. Perfect. And then I can call value.toString. Probably should do parse float. Yes, parse float. That would be correct. Okay, now this is correctish. Now we go test again. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. I'm AJ. I am in the throes of some pretty tedious work. But I would love it if you would say hello and tell me who you are. I would be happy to have a little bit of side conversation. It'd be a little, help stimulate the brain. I'm getting a little drowsy. I'm going to fall asleep at the wheel here. We can't have that. Okay, so this in theory, so what I'm about to test here is, can we set the custom field in the GitHub project to this amount using the node ID of the issue? And so this is, for those of you that are joining in, this is what I'm trying to figure out right here. I want to set this custom field that I created. I want to pick an issue, and I want to set this custom field to a value. That's what we're trying to do. I'm expecting that this is going to fail because I think I'm using the wrong type of ID. Cannot read null. Let me see if I can... That's not what I was expecting. That might be better. It might be worse. Not really sure yet. We'll find out soon. Project next item, 28. Okay, that's a little too high level. Let's go a little deeper. Lib gh 147. All right. So result dot data dot update blah 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 dot project next item. So let me just console.log result here. Let's see what we get. Yeah, figures. Errors. Could not resolve a node with a global ID of. That's what I thought. Okay, so we're going to have to go back and we're going to have to do this one other thing, and then we can move forward with this again. And, gosh, it takes a long time to figure these doohickeys out. Find the node of a field. This is obnoxious because this just gives me a bunch of fields. But it's okay. It's okay. I know what to do. It's not hard. It's not necessarily something I want to expose, but we'll see. Okay. So all I need to do then is gh projects.get custom fields. Async function. I don't need to pass in anything. Everything's going to be well known. All I need to do is take my project ID, my GraphQL, do a little mutimute. That's what the kids are calling it these days. They're calling it the mutimute. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. All right, again, project ID. I really don't like typing this over and 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 over again. I don't think I've met a backend person who likes GraphQL. That's what I wanted to say earlier. That's my gripe, part of my gripe. I think GraphQL is stupid. I think it was designed by people who are too clever. ... on. What the flippy do does that mean? Is that valid syntax? I hope so, because I don't want to have to figure out what they meant by ... I think it's a splat or a glop. I don't know. Okay, so we got project ID in there, yeah? Okay, now I'm confused. Hold on. So we're just searching for any node at all in the whole database? On project next, fields first 20, nodes, whatever. I think it's going to work. Oh, what do we call this? When we page, we say, what do we call it? Size? There's nothing I can do here. I have no idea what this looks like. All right, we're gonna go with, can I go with get custom fields for 500? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do, is it? Maybe. I wanted to paste in here first. Yep. Project is declared, but not used. Okay, so basically I just have a typo. I have project in a place where I should have project ID, it looks like. Project ID, project ID, project ID, and a get custom fields, and project ID, project ID. There we go. Project ID, no, should this be int? This should be a string, right? What? Yes, this should be a string, not an int. Okay, apparently it should be of type ID. Fair enough. Didn't quite work the way I'd hoped, but wasn't that bad either. Let's go back in here, and I just need to console.log this better. Why don't I program more in Go? More people should want me to do things in Go. I guess I chose to do this in Node. But part of it was because I thought I was going to be doing, I thought I was going to have to do part of this in the browser. I did think about doing this in Go. Actually, the Node part isn't the part that's sad to me. Okay, cool. Title, assignees, status, labels, linked pull request. This gets us things that are not custom IDs. Let's totes and approps. Repository, milestone, dash. Seriously? All right, well, whatever. Here we go. There's our itty bitty. Oh, bother. I didn't actually find out what I needed to find out here. So I need to find out how many trillions of layers deep is this nested. Because that's the beauty of GraphQL. There's no end to the nesting. GraphQL is as bottomless as my complaining. We are a perfect match in this regard. I do like the GitHub API in general. It seems to be, not the GraphQL, but the REST API. It actually seems to be quite nice. Quite tolerable. Okay, ID, name, settings. None of that's nothing to complain about, so let's just let that be. Oh, and then we need a result dot. Decided that I'm just going to call it result from here on out. And this is not get custom fields. It is get all fields. I do not know how to eliminate the non-custom fields. So we're just going to call this get fields. Is that what it's called? It's called fields. I kind of want to call it custom fields, but not all of them are custom. I'm going to call it custom fields because at least you can get the custom fields, and that makes sense. Maybe I will change my mind on that later. But for right now, I'm going with that. All right, so something works, so it's time to commit. All right, we have get custom fields. Oh, we don't have the set field value yet. So let's try that out and then commit. All right, so let fields equals console.log info fields.map function fields console.log turn field.title. I don't remember even what it was called. Let's scroll back a little ways. Name. So it's going to be on this wise. We're going to do for each. And we are going to boop, 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 boop. We're going to boop, 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 y'all. That's what we're going to do from now on. Okay. Actually, I'm going to reverse these because the ID, I believe, will always be the same size string, but the name will not. So better to have the ID on the left and the name on the right, even though that's not really the way that I want to look at them. It's going to print nicer. Okay, so let's see if this works now. Okay, I guess this makes sense. They're just incrementing by one or something, or a couple. It's incrementing by time. Could not resolve next item node with global ID of. Okay, project next item node with item ID. Ah, crap. Do we need, okay, so what we need here is not the node ID, but the project item node ID. That's what we need. So this is project item node ID, not issue ID. Let's try it one more time. I think it's going to work this time. Yeah, look, see? Told you so. Bah. Set field. Should this really say set field value? That seems kind of weird. Oh yeah, it should, because this is set dash amount. Got it. All right, so what do we need to do here? We don't need to, do we need to do anything with that? We don't need to console.log this. Set field value. We don't really need to return anything here. We kind of want to validate that it's there, but I think that this could be good enough. How do we say that we want... Do we have a way to do this in JavaScript where you just want to test that something exists and you don't care to do anything with the result? So I don't know if we have an idiom for that in JavaScript. I just want this to throw if it doesn't exist. That's it. Because they're going to complain about it. Technically, this is valid. It's what I want to do. I just want to test, does this exist? I don't know what to do about it, though. Because I guess what I should do is I should check for the error. So say if result.data.errors, then throw new error, got some errors. I don't know. I think for any of the GraphQL stuff, The problem with GraphQL is you never know what the path of something is going to be. In, well, you do, but not in a generic sense. But we do know generically if there's going to be errors. So I guess we could handle that generically. So let's go to the GraphQL bit here. So if there are going to be errors, let's say let result equals if result.data.errors, right? Is that how it goes? Then throw new error GraphQL error. And then for right now, because I don't know much of a better way of dealing with this, we just go that route, I think. But I think we get that anyway. Because no, it still responds with OK even when there's a failure. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Welcome to the channel. My name is AJ O'Neill. I'd love to know who you are. I am just going through, this is a commissioned project. I'm doing this work for the Dash Incubator, and I'm trying to get their Trello stuff migrated over from Trello to GitHub. And I've got about 20 minutes left for the night, and then I need to hit the hay. Yeah, I do. But I'm trying to see where were the errors at. What does errors look like? Okay, errors is an array. Oh, it's not under data. It's just under errors. Okay, great. So we're what I need to do right now. Oh, and by the way, I love to have a little conversation too. So if you want to ask me a question or chat a little bit, I appreciate that. It helps me stay awake. Makes me feel a little less lonely because sometimes we just got people watching you. I mean, just imagine this. Imagine that you're some dude sitting in front of this camera here, and you just got people watching you. They're not saying anything, just watching you. Just watching. Kind of listening. It's kind of weird, isn't it? So I like it when we get to have a little bit of community discussion and whatnot. By the way, I have not invited y'all into the Discord this whole time. I'm sorry. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you a link to the Discord. This is where we have chat. We just discuss upcoming topics and work and stuff. So there's a link to the Discord if you want to jump in the Discord, if you want to communicate with me that way. All right. So result.errors to do throw beta. All right. But yeah, in this case, I do want to return it. In this case, I want to return something. In this case, I don't really want to return anything. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. I'm just trying to get rid of the linter message. And that is just a fail-safe. It's not really what I want to do. I don't want to return anything. Maybe I could just await here. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Can I void? What if I just void? Can I void here? Void is something that I've used maybe twice in my tenure in JavaScript. Is that even the right way to use the word tenure? I think that this works. I think that's valid code. What is the purpose of void? That's got to be the first time I've ever used void. I think I used it one other time, but I don't remember why. I think there was one other special case where I used void for something. But I don't know. I don't know what it's for, but it makes the linter not give an error. I don't have to return anything. I remember seeing that in somebody else's code. They did something kind of clever-ish, maybe, with it. Okay. Am I done here? I think I'm done here. So let's try this one more time. libgh. Let's go to 95. That seems to be strange. GitHub project 2. That's not what I expected at all. That makes me very sad. Okay, line 95. Oh, I forgot to return. So I checked the throwy bit, and then I forgot to return the result. That's all. Okay, cool. So this is looking good. I don't know which issue I actually updated this for. Let me refresh. Oh, cool. There it is. We got the number 1. All right, success. Huge success. Huge. Huge. All right, let's go ahead and add. So something's working completely and totally, functionally, demonstrably. It's working. Okay. What was the other function I added? I think it was set field value. No, I don't. Not set dash amount. There we go. So this would be project item ID and value. Cool. Let's make that more specific. Amount. All right, documentation's updated. I've tested that it works. I'm still not going to commit this at this time. Oh, I need to update my example.env, I think, because we need to have GitHub dash field equals, and I'm just going to go ahead and copy this in here because no, I'm not going to copy that in there. But I am going to put something like it in here. There we go. One, two, three, 4, and then the other one should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because my token is stored elsewhere. And I am, in fact, using the dash field, right? Dash field, yep. Probably should call that GitHub project dash field or something. Whatever. All right, so this is updated. All right, so what was the feature? Let me see. What did I last do? I last parse number, da-da-da-da-da. Feet. This is going to be project add dash field can add ability to seems so stupid. Can set dash amount custom fields including dash amount. There we go. All right, so I think I need to get one more thing in before I go to bed, and just want to then I want to call this a night. So what I want to get in, Ryan, if you're still on and you got any input on this, please let me know. Being the person that is the benefactor, but I think what I need to do. Oh, and by the way. Because I had so much streaming on the front of this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think I even had some streaming on Sunday. I've been doing a lot of streaming. I will not be streaming, probably most likely I will not be streaming tomorrow night or Friday night, not Thursday night, not Friday night. My mom comes into town on Saturday, so maybe not Saturday night. Plus, I have to get up early for church on Sunday. So this may be a short week, or no, I'll try to put some content stuff out somehow. Something short, one of those little the const versus var versus let. I've had that brewing. I want to get to that. Anyway, the thing that I need to do right now is I need to switch back over to the ETL, and I need to add if a project. So basically, if a project is closed, this is something that we need to check on. Okay, state. So where's all this at? All right. To do, make optional. Okay. Return. Don't import completed items. And then I need to do the exact same thing, not for checklist item, but for upsert card. We need to have the same thing where I think it's card.closed. Yeah. So this one, it's not completed. It's called closed. So if card.closed, there we go. All right, so that's another thing that we're getting out of the way. But now, okay. And this no longer belongs here anymore. Again. That just keeps changing location. Checklist item to issue. There it goes. All right. So that task is getting cleaned up. So at this point, we're going to create the issue. And then I need to okay, the thing that we need to we need another I need an M list, maybe M bounty as to, oh, I did not skip one. I thought I skipped one, but then it turns out I didn't. All right, now what am I going to do about this? All right, this is about to get annoying again. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get to that, because then do we have to make another project? Well, what I can do, I can let the migration run overnight for the current migration. It's not gonna, there's not gonna be any problem with stuff just being there and being closed, right? So we can do a new migration at another time where we don't import all of the stuff, but and we can run a migration overnight. Let's see. Anyway, but what we primarily want is to demonstrate that we can get these bounties into a custom field, right? And that's what I think I can get done in the next, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, but relatively soon. Although my brain juices are a little bit low. Okay. Upsert card. I have a little bit difficult time tracking what I'm doing. I'm running on a little bit too much sleep for 20 nights in a row. Did I say a little bit too much sleep? That's got to be the problem. That's got to be it. Okay, so card to issue. It's this one. This is where I need to do this. Holy moly. Yes, this needs to be a transform function. Put that on the top of my priority list for next time. Let's get this down to a transform function. Upsert checklist item. I think mBounty is 2. That's fine. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit fuzzy for me, because now I need to create not just an issue, yeah, this is where we need some more metadata, because I need to not just create an issue, but I need to create a project item for the issue, and I need to save whether or not the project item was created. I think this is the right way to do it. I don't need this. Okay. So we need to create I'm losing it. Okay. Okay, issue node ID. No, let project item node ID equals. Whoa. All right, so this is correct. So we don't have meta. We're going to add the issue. Okay. And we're going to do that sleep thing, right? Maybe. All right, so this is going to work. And then if we have an amount, where was the amount at? I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Brain cycles are running. I don't even feel that tired. It's just the brain cycles they're becoming limited. Their capacity has diminished. Okay. All right, I'm getting really close. Don't lose it now, AJ. You've got this, bro. You can do it, bro. If item amount and not meta dot amount. Was I using parseInt anywhere? I should not be using parseInt anywhere in this project. No, I can use it there. All right, I'm so close. I'm so close. Brain, just do this one thing. This is it. And then you get to, you're too tired to go to sleep. I don't know, eat some chocolate or something. Midnight snack. Yeah. All right, set dash amount. All right, we're getting there. We're getting close. All right, meta dot. Oh, come on, you can do it, brain. You've got this. You're so close. You can taste it. The Obi-Wan Kenobi scene with the Death Star. We may have made it just in time. Why so many bounties are 4 dash? I don't even know if that made sense. Card name? Oh, because I added that to the description and we're printing out the body. And the body goes back here because it's a new line. Okay, cool. All right. I think that's a wrap for the night. Oh, do you mind, do I need to do the claim thing? If I need to do the claim thing, if you wouldn't mind sending me the link to the claim thing, I'll do the claim thing. All right. Did not skip one. Amount moved over there, which was good. Oh no, that one's not where amount moved. That we made that optional. I mean, we skip. We'll make that optional later. Whatever. This is working. Let me just go check and make sure. Yep, check it out. Happy day. Now, keep in mind, you're seeing these things the way that they are, not the way that we're seeing them print to the screen correctly. So although the issues that currently exist are still this way, I mean, maybe there's a way that we could update them. I don't know if we want to update them right now. I could basically say if the title is not equal to the title, I could try this one last thing, and then I'm out. Well, first let me finish this commit because this was good, and we got something really valuable done here. It's working. It's time to commit. I don't think I've got any bogus logs in here, right? Cool. Okay. So I don't even know what I did. I did something with projects, and I think it was update loader script to add issues to project with bounty amount. All right, so last thing, I don't even remember what it was. It was something. I was looking over here. Oh, it was we could get them. We could say this. Where was the part where the state something or other? So if complete state and da 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 da. So we could do a similar thing here. Yeah, I totally should have done this differently. I know what I do now. But we could say if item.title is not equal to full issue dot title. Is it title or is it name? Title. Yep. Is this for cards? Or is this for tasks, yeah? This is for tasks. Okay, so if item dot title where did I go? Is not equal to full issue. I'm losing it. Title is item dot title. No, that's not it. It's more than that. Issue. Checklist item to issue. If issue dot title, then issue dot title body is issue dot body. That's it. That's all I got. 100% juice is maxed out. Okay, we're going to try this one thing. Cross your fingers I didn't break everything. Oh, I broke everything. Oh, you moved some of these issues, huh? You moved the issues on. Did you move the issue? Moved permanently. What? Oh, bother. Oh, wait. This is okay. This is okay. This is okay. We need to change the name in the .env from -testing to migration1. What did you do? wait, not dash testing, sorry. No. No, this is, dang it. This is dash testing. This is migration 1. All right. It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. This is great. Specification document detailing needed Angular. There you go. Cool. Feature issues. Now this is tasks. Update title and body for new parser. With using new task transform. All right. Look at that. We're only updating things that are open. And look, we're getting rid of... Oh, interesting. Okay, so we got some markdown parsing we might need to do. Because we can't have markdown inside of a title. But yeah, let's take a look at this. Bounty 4 dash. Cool. All right, I'm out. Include a link to your code in the claim. Yes, and I need to put my daggone. All right. Okay. So let's see. How did I do this claim last time? All right. I'm gonna claim task 2 and 3. All right. So claiming prod tasks. Can I put both in the same, or do I need to make two claims? Let me make sure I copied my address correctly. XDFSW. XDFSW. Project. Where's that code at? And the README is not the best right now, but you get the gist. Yeah? Okay. So ETL Trello to GitHub projects ETL code is here. Video is somewhere. There's a video. I know it. I believe it in my heart. That's all I need to know. Is yeah. Yeah. Let me go grab the other one from yesterday. That worked out unexpectedly. I was going to say yester as in yesteryear or yester hour, but then it ended up being that I said yesterday, which is a real word. That's a bummer. Okay, channel. 23 hours ago, I was live. I was streaming. I was doing it. Both in same. Got it. Boop. All right, cool. Well, I feel like this has gone really well. I hope that you do also. but I think that yeah, it'd be nice to get the labels in there. But to me, this is the validation that this works. Yeah, we can figure out if I arbitrarily set 50 characters. It's probably not the right number of characters. We could update how we want to pull this stuff over. We can, there's a little bit of markdown, this or that, whatever. But yeah, I feel like this went really well. We've got our custom fields in here. Gosh, you know what? If you just wanted to use this as a spreadsheet, so much easier than getting Google Drive to work as a spreadsheet. Oh, it's actually a chat system. They built it on top of a chat protocol, and so it's more like playing chess. Move bishop to e15 and right. And that even makes it sound too easy. It's not. If you've ever written a macro in Excel, it's more like that, where you actually you're moving to a place and then you're selecting it with your cursor, and then yeah, it's insane. Anyway, cool. Well, everybody that joined in, thanks for joining in. For those of you that didn't join in, shame on you. How dare you not watch this video to hear me shame you for not watching? Okay, it's late. I'm losing it. I'm not that corny, usually. I hope. I don't know. Streaming is, change the man. Did you hear that? That seemed weird. Anyway, time for me to go. So everybody have a good night. Thumbs up if you got them. Thumbs down if you don't. Share with someone you like if you liked it. Share with someone that you don't like if you didn't like it. And, well, adios.